Since early 2019, we've chosen to cover the top division's youngest man for practical reasons. It's pretty easy to get access to Kotoshoho and those around him. Luckily for us, he's amazing at sumo and giving us a front row seat for his rise to prominence. We've already seen him hurdle the barrier to salaried status, win the Division 2 title, and score 10 wins in Division 1 in September. November 2020 was thus the test of his fledgling pro career. A highest ever rank of Maegashira 5 West, and first meetings with Sanyaku level opponents. Privately, many in his parents' Kashiwa pub felt that 6 wins would be a good showing. That feeling was reinforced over the first 4 days. Things did not begin well. A right elbow caught in Takarafuji's firm left arm, exposing the shoulder to an extent that no amount of defensive work could save him. Day 2 was markedly better. Not even many veterans fancy going toe-to-toe with Tamawashi. And look how well his left spears from down low. But day 3 again saw his initial charge disrupted by Tochinoshin's wily left to the neck, forcing him into a belt battle that, although he approached with eye-popping confidence, was never likely to win. Even with dramatic rope maneuvers like that. Not when the Georgian's left is so strong it can turn him like a concrete mixer tank. And, after being pushed out by Saitama Sakai senior Myogiryu on day 4, Kotoshoho was 1-3 for the first time as a professional. This is a young man, though, with a plan for everything. Unable to dominate from the front, he switched attack to the side. And look what happened. Tobizaru, who beat him in September, flummoxed by a right neck pull. Then Endo, shorn of his youthful mobility these days, unable to defend a right side onslaught, thus ceding his wad of cash prize envelopes, another first for Kotoshoho. Although halted by an Aoyama slapdown on day 7, the 21-year-old was sure he'd found the right ploy. Cheered on by a special contingent from his parents' Kashiwa pub on day 8, he stood up to Terutsuyoshi's almighty face slap, then flipped him from the side. From that point on, we knew he'd be alright. The next day saw his maiden Sanyaku match, poetically against another Kashiwa man in Sekiwake Takanosho. The 5-year age gap meant that when they first met at Kashiwa Junior Sumo Club, Takanosho was over a head taller and far too old to train with Kotoshoho. In that context, prepare yourselves for the miracle. I have it on good authority his parents' punters erupted into cheers on the moment of victory. Sadly, we can't be everywhere. And if that wasn't groundbreaking enough, his day 10 feat rippled through the entire sumo association. Both Sekiwake dismissed in the same way, defeat of a 2-time champion made to look so easy. No wonder the crowd were gasping. A first appearance in the day's closing bout was presented to him on day 11, when he faced the pride of his old school, Ozeki Takakeisho. One suspects Kotoshoho approached the thrusting battle as a research project, testing out what he could and couldn't get away with. Roundhouses from distance fell into the latter category. He won't be trying those again. On day 12, though, he was cooler, calmly taking the power out of his famously supple frame and simply letting Okinomi fall forwards. The number of pulls like that, though, was drawing groans from sumo pundits, even retired stablemate Kotoshogiku, who vowed to personally help him towards a style more befitting of his size and strength. Remember, he stands over 6'2". After all, Onosho exposed the limitations of repeated pulling on day 13. The Starlet's winning score was secured on day 14, though, and in a fashion that satisfied all. A much more aggressive pushing assault on the far from flimsy Takayasu. In his post-match NHK interview, the young hopeful admitted his coach had urged him forward more, and committed himself to more of that style in January. 8 wins in the bank meant he could fight with more freedom on the final afternoon, in his first meeting with another Saitama Sakai man, Dai Eisho. He tried to stand square, he really did, but against that kind of destructive thrusting power was forced to think up something on the retreat. Had that deftest of last-ditch belt throws worked, he would have tied level with Dai Eisho on 9 wins, an awesome achievement which, to be honest, would have slightly flattered him. Instead, a rematch was called, giving Dai Eisho the chance to emphasize the gulf between them. Only, he didn't. The decision fell to the judges again, and Kotoshoho's left hand was ruled to have touched down first by a fraction. Nevertheless, with 8 wins and 7 losses, Kotoshoho posted a remarkable 12th consecutive winning score, most likely earning him his first shots at the Yokozuna next time. With Asanoyama and Shodai also waiting for him, those who don't know him so well might be predicting a battering. But remember, this is the young man who got where he is by making 3 sincere promises to his father as a mere infant. 1. To fight so hard he'd feel like crying whenever he lost. 2. To grace national tournaments. 3. That no matter who he fights and how badly he's beaten, he dusts himself down and asks them for one more match. Making up January numbers is the last thing on Kotoshoho's mind.